intro.
Yeah, we stuffs it up.
And we're back with Cage Chronicles. So we're here today. James is back with us, and we have Ryan and Louis from the world famous Vex MMA brand. How you doing, guys?
Very good.
Good, thanks.
Good. We've been trying to get them on for a while, but they don't want to talk to us half the time. But now we
confidential.
finally got them together. We want to talk to them about Vex, what's happening with all that sort of stuff. And then I want to talk with James about what he's been up to, which I don't think is very much at all. Yeah, but I've heard that you might have something that you like to talk about, your special match.
I don't know if I can talk. I don't even know who I'm going against yet. But yeah, I've got to hopefully have like a match up, a little super fight coming up for jiu-jitsu. I think in the gi. So
yeah. Oh, you went to go with the gi?
Yeah, I chose gi. So I could go no gi or gi, but I chose gi. But yeah, I don't really know like all the details yet. So hopefully,
What's that on?
It's for ABJJC. I think it's in July.
July, you said it was.
In Perth or?
Yeah, in Perth. Yeah. So
that's cool. That's
be a match up against another black belt coach.
Have you competed in black belt yet?
Yeah, I got my black belt, and then I competed 3 days later, which is good because it's like nice to just
got it out
of the way. Yeah, I had 6 matches as well, which pretty much all went the distance. So straight away get a good 30 minutes of match time. And then the next comp I was signed up in. I ended up getting sick on 2 days before, so I've only had that one tournament at black belt.
Yeah, he often mixes up sick and nerves. Well, yeah. No, it was pretty sick. It wasn't working. He was watching F1, not that much.
Yeah, I was sorry.
She goes, I'm so sick, but I'm getting through the F1 season on Netflix, and I'm like,
you're loving it.
Yeah, I was loving it. So it's seven seasons, and I was so sick. So I was like, I need something to watch, and then I started watching it, and I've never thought about F1 in my life, and then got sucked in straight away.
Every day I message him, are you feeling any better? Oh, you're feeling a bit better. But I'm only up to season 3. I was like,
he was like, are you going to be back tomorrow? And I was like, no, I've still got 2 more seasons to go. Definitely not. I need like a few more. I was powering through them. I actually haven't got the whole way through yet. I'm nearly through, so excited to come back to work.
A little tickly cough now.
Yeah,
it's coming back in.
So have you guys been going? What's been happening? So really for those who don't know, obviously Vex is a MMA brand. Started off with you guys. I remember the first time you came to me and tell me about it and stuff when you were trained at the gym. But
5 years ago now, I think.
Tell them a little bit about your background before we start talking about Vex, because a lot of them won't know you've got martial arts backgrounds as well.
Yeah, well, with me, I guess my dad was like fight fan, always training all his life and stuff. So I started a little bit back in England when I was probably like 13 and that. I probably trained for about 2 years back in England at an MMA gym where Bisping was training and that in Warrington. And then when we moved here, I moved to Perth when I was 14 years old and ended up coming here when I was 19. So 10 years ago now. Yeah. I trained, then I competed Muay Thai.
Yeah, I think MMA. From memory, did you have 5 Muay Thai?
Yeah, 5 Muay Thai.
4 and 1?
Yeah, 4 and 1, and then 3 MMA.
3 undefeated MMA fighter.
We called it that. Retired.
Possibly last one to beat the UFC new champion.
Yeah, he's looking great.
Yeah, he's looking really good. Yeah. And then yourself, Louis?
And I started judo when I was 4.
Yeah.
And then went to national level, internationals.
Yeah.
And obviously moved to Australia when I was 15. And then I think I came down Wolves when I was like 17. Wolves then I was like 17.
About 17, I think so. Yeah.
With Jerry.
Yeah, exactly, Jerry. He pops in now and again. He'll come back for like 2 months, and then he'll go away, and he'll come back for another month, and he'll go away.
Yeah,
he's always in now.
I was trained here, and I was training at Kano with Carlo and stuff. Still in the state, and then went to Singapore, competed, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure. I mean, when I was 4.
So you got your black belt in jiu-jitsu, judo, haven't you?
I only went to brown.
Oh, I thought you had your black.
I never went to black. I was.
I'm sure you said to me before you were black belt.
He definitely has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely floats that around.
I technically am.
No one checks the history.
But I was just too lazy to really get my black, I'd say. I wasn't really interested in katas, doing all the katas and all that. I was more
How long does it take, though, to get to brown?
Oh, man, that was a long time. So I was at 4.
From 4 years old?
Yeah, from 4. You've got white.
I've only got to my yellow belt.
Yeah, okay.
It takes a long time in judo to get a black.
I think you meet a lot of people that are brown, and then it's like it seems to be that last push to black must be.
Like there's a lot of grading that goes into getting your black and like a lot.
You have to have a certain amount of
points
as well,
and
through
stuff, competitions and stuff like that. You can't just get your black.
You have to be either like coaching or like reffing, competing. There's like to get your.
I think it's one of them martial arts where it's like you have to be very good to be a black belt. Like, I think it's like jiu-jitsu. Like you got to be a decent bloody level to get your black belt. Otherwise, you're not going to get, or you shouldn't be able to get it.
Physical too, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of you're just constantly throwing people around, and like the impact that you must go through.
I think it's a very good sport to get into when you're young because it gives you a lot of discipline.
It's like any of them, isn't it?
Structure in life, to be honest with you. And it's a good base for MMA if you were going to get into it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it's funny because obviously I was like 4, I didn't really know what was going on. I was just on the mat running around pretty much. And then I remember when I was
same as when you were here then.
Not long ago. But then when I was like 5, I started like competing. But I don't remember competing at that age really. But I think it was kind of like a easy babysitting for mum.
So
go drop me off at the judo hall, go do the shopping, and then come pick me up after. And then eventually just got better and better, and just
I think it's definitely a good one to start with, especially if you're going to go. I mean, if you did MMA when you were here with us and did a bit of everything, you know, you both obviously you competed in Muay Thai and MMA. You did a few interclubs with the MMA as well, didn't you? So it's good that I think you guys got that background, and then you have an understanding of what it is to compete, what it is to like use all the equipment, and then obviously
that's the biggest one. Like just even meeting all the like the gym owners and all the guys in the scene, and just knowing that the event owners and just that kind of thing, having the connections because you were in the sport, like part of it, and it's helped. It's just helped a lot growing Vexed, you know what I mean? Just having those connections and just being able to speak to people who are in the scene and can help it grow, you know?
100%.
So it's been
because you know what everyone's going through as well when you in it.
Exactly. And I think, when was it when because you first came to me and you were saying, Steve, I think I'm going to start this new clothing line. And I was like, it'd be sick, really cool. And I was chatting to you about, when was that? When did you first start it?
It was 2019.
Well, we have the funny story when we launched it. It was 2020 August, because it was the day after his birthday. We decided to launch it. It was like a Sunday or something. And he had a massive 25th birthday. And we were launching the day after his birthday. We had a massive night. We were so rough the day we launched it. But it was fine because it was just setting the website live and stuff like that. And it was good. But that was... so August 2020 is when we launched it, and then we probably started thinking about it 6 months or so before that. And we had the thought of it because we've always been pretty entrepreneur. I don't know if that's a word to say or what, but you know, we were doing the Amazon and we were doing drop shipping, and we were like, I was just looking at ways to do e-commerce and make money selling stuff online and that kind of thing. And we just kind of clicked one day. I was like, why are we not? I remember calling him. We had like a chat for like an hour. I was like, why don't we just do a brand like
and there wasn't much out there. Like, obviously had a couple of the bigger brands, but then like there wasn't a great. I mean, and now everyone's got a brand. But at that time there was nothing.
Well, that's what we realised. There was a gap in the niche for it. Really,
it even still feels like there's a bit of a gap.
There's more now though.
There definitely are people coming up on that, but I think we got in it at a great time where we've been able to pick some of the good lads in Perth as amateurs, and they've come up through now into like it's becoming like the golden era.
When I was speaking to at the beginning, like when you asked me, you was like, I think I might do this, and I was like, I think you're gonna have to lose a lot of money first, like because you're gonna have to give a lot of free stuff away. And this and that. That's how I see everyone like sort of building it. But then eventually it'll click over, and then you start like you just got to be ready to do all that sort of stuff. Which I presume that's how
we didn't. When you think about it, we started in COVID.
Right in the middle of it. Terrible time. It was good because things started slow and we could like figure things out, you know. And we've made mistakes. Like we started it as a partnership. It wasn't even a company to start with, and we didn't know that the difference between that stuff at the time, and now we do. And which is a help with the PRP guys, and they've come in and just like brought some real structure to it. You know, we built the brand up, the name, and we did well. And now it's feels like a real business now. You know, the boys have come in.
So. When did they come to approach you?
Up over a year ago.
And it was actually through Seb. Because they were doing a sponsorship. So, they spoke to Seb. And Seb just...
Seb's still there?
Seb's Alex, over at Freestyle. He was here, wasn't he? But he was at Freestyle at the time. And he said, you should chat to the Vex boys. Like, they're good lads. You guys are good. And just, like, link up with them and see what can happen.
Because Ryan was... Ryan Bird, who's PRP, he was sponsoring Seb through Rapid, which is his company over East.
Right.
And then that's how then got in touch with us.
Oh, nice.
Wanted to come in and actually be a part of like an actual MMA brand.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were flying out to talk with them or something.
Yeah, well,
somewhere.
they flew over to Perth.
Well, we saw
for
him
the WWE.
at the airport
That's
when we
right,
were
that's
going to
right, yeah.
Worlds.
Yeah.
Remember? And it was
So
just...
that was
you got
after
Cairns.
I was going to
Right.
Cairns. That was for
Yeah.
Ryan's birthday.
So something,
we'd
it
met
wasn't
earlier than
far
that.
off,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
remember,
That's right. Yeah. Because we went to Vegas, weren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw him, and I know it had just sort of, something had just
Yeah,
happened.
I remember
with
that.
the
Who was
PRP.
fighting at that time?
Oh, we were flying to...
We were just going to go Worlds Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, is that what
we
it
were
was?
doing the Worlds,
You were
yeah.
with-
Yeah,
It was just you two.
yeah.
I thought there was someone else there. Yeah.
No. It was just us.
I think it was, yeah.
And
Yeah, no,
Sam.
I was going over to Cairns because that's where Ryan is. So, yeah, they started PRP. So Ryan has a company called Rapid Building Approvals, which
Yeah.
is in the name. They do building approvals in Queensland. He's got
Yeah.
like 10 locations. It's doing really
Right,
well.
yeah.
And then Pat is in PRP too, and he's He's got his own accounting firm
Yeah.
in Sydney. He's got and he's also a business advisor. It's called Pop Business. They do all the financial accounting and business advisory for startups and stuff like that. So now we've got all that in-house, you know what I mean? They're part of our company with us, so all our financial side's covered, everything, it's all structured. Ryan's really good at like structuring meetings and yeah, like I said, just brought some real structure to us now.
Like, we've learned a lot from them.
Learned a lot,
Like,
yeah.
a lot.
And we've got a marketing guy working for us now, and we've got a graphic designer working for us.
Because you
and-
relaunched your website, didn't you?
so we've had developers on with a website designer and just working all with them and yeah, we're ready to start pushing it now.
Yeah.
So we've kind of we've got through all the
part.
it's still going to be tough, I'm sure, but we've had some learning experiences and stuff through it, and
Yeah, but
now
there's
it's getting to that point where we think it's about to take off. Like
There's obviously
really
something there
good.
because obviously the PRP guys wouldn't have approached you if there
Yeah.
wasn't something there
Yeah.
already, and then to help build it, and then obviously you run all the different fight shows. You get gloves in like with Domination over East. You got a few different
Yeah, so we
ones
have
as well.
Damo now as well, Beat Down.
Beat Down, yeah, that's right.
Doing his shorts. And then obviously recently, just yesterday, was Hex.
Hex, yeah, you got
with
that
the
one.
gloves. And that was
Yeah.
obviously Ryan helping with that
And
massively
we
as well.
started with Proving Grounds too.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
Robin O'Neill.
Oh, yeah.
She's running Proving Grounds. We're doing the gloves
Yeah.
for them too. And then like you said, Beat Down,
We
Domination.
also did
and
with
Hex.
Vikey back in Diamondback. Craig. And,
Oh, yeah,
Craig.
Craig,
With
yeah.
them back in
Cool.
the day.
But we met
relationship
those guys like Craig and stuff. He was amazing. Like he showing us all around Adelaide, took us out for dinner. Like he put it on for us when we went over there, and so we got a really good relationship with them. And sure, we'll definitely work with them again. So
No, it's good. Every time I've been to Diamondback, they've basically picked us up from the airport,
they're amazing.
took us to
They're
where we're
great.
going to
Yeah,
be.
they're
Need any
great.
problems, we're going to sort you out. Like,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
just really good. Like
Yeah.
I've been to some places, and they haven't looked after you at all. And it's
Yeah.
like they put you in this dump, and it's like you got to get yourself to the airport, and it really
Yeah.
looked after you. So that really
Yeah.
made a impression when I fought on that one.
that's
well,
exactly
I didn't fight,
how we felt with them. Like he just made us feel at home. Like they were great.
Because Greg
So-
came down here, didn't he, recently? To train?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
trains
Craig,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
classes. Yeah, he loves
Yeah.
it. Every time he's in Perth, he'll jump in for a
Yeah.
class. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
So-
a nice guy.
He's a real nice guy. Yeah.
No, they were great, and it's just there's been time like it's a big outlay to supply for the shows, so
Yeah.
you just got to be strategic and like we need the money for this, but soon it'll get to a point where we can just really
Yeah.
and because we've got good relationships with a lot of them, I feel like we can work with a lot of shows, and we'll be a big name.
Because
And that is our
obviously,
goal,
so obviously you're still working. You got your own business
Yeah.
as well,
full time still,
and then you working still working
full time
yeah.
with Autism Association.
Yeah, so you both, so
but-
hopefully at some point you can just sit
Yeah, well,
back.
that's the goal. Like, we've got big plans for it.
Yeah.
We don't. Obviously, we want to take it worldwide, and we definitely can. We've got the means to do it now. We know we can.
So are you just still in Australia now?
At the moment, it's just Australia.
Oh, okay, okay.
Done a few
but-
international
Yeah,
orders.
we've done, but it's not our focus. Like we're marketing in Australia, and we're still so many people to work with and build, and the guys are all coming up. It'll just happen naturally, I think.
Yeah.
As the lads are in the UFC and the team's growing, it's just it just feels like a bit of a golden era in Australia for MMA,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Well, it
Like,
seems
what's
to be
coming up.
when you were coming in. Obviously, you were sort of like hitting these guys who are almost UFC, and
Yeah.
now they're getting into UFC, and
Yeah.
then they're going to do big things.
Yeah.
Like so, I think you're at the right point now. It's going to really just start taking off.
Yeah.
So, have you got anyone sponsored that's in the UFC now?
Yeah, so we got Quillen,
Yeah.
Salkid, obviously, Cody Haddon. Jake Matthews,
Colby.
Colby Thickness, yeah. And then obviously George Mangos is
Contender.
well on his way. He's going road to UFC.
No, he's on Contender.
Contender, isn't he? Yeah, Kit Campbell's road to UFC.
Yeah, for the one fight, and then
he's about
Seb's
to.
in the road to
And then
UFC.
Seb's road to UFC as well. And then obviously Marwan looks amazing. We've got about 16 lads at the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
So we do want to sponsor more, but obviously having 16 lads is already big outlay. Because when you get new designs in, you've got to give them all. You know what I mean? So we have to be. We can't just sponsor everyone.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
You got to pick. And there is lads that we want to sponsor.
Yeah,
but
some of the guys are like knocking right on the door of going through the UFC as
like,
well.
We just have to pick it, and it's kind of like
we'd love to sponsor them all.
Yeah, there's loads of great lads. You can even see even more talent coming up now, even in Perth. So
The amateur scene's crazy now, though.
Yeah.
You look at some amateurs and I'm like,
the level's so high, isn't it?
Some of the guys in the gym, they go, "Oh, I really want to have my first amateur fight," and I'm like, "You're not really ready. Like you don't understand the level now. Like it used to be, it was amateur and then there's pro. And now it's like these amateurs look absolutely crazy good. You know, so you don't want to go in there and just get totally put off.
Evolved, ain't it?
Yeah, 100%.
That was why we sponsored Lewis Christopherson.
Yeah.
Who Jesse just fought. Because we watched, and it was amateur.
Yeah.
We watched him, and I can't remember the lad he fought, but the level that they were fighting at, they looked like professionals. You know, they were ready for the UFC or something. Like it was like, look at his. So that's why.
And he'll be good. He'll be
young.
very good. Yeah, he's only young, so
I feel like we've done well with that. We've kind of got an eye for like the talent. Like you can see, and I think that helps because we've been in it and you know what to look for. So yeah, no.
Yeah, because otherwise you sort of don't really know, and you'd be like sort of guessing. I think he's probably going to go, and he's going to. But if you have an understanding, and you've been in it, and you're around it all the time, you start to see, okay, this person's standing out
before they get there.
100%.
It's like scouting, isn't it?
It is,
you know.
Yeah.
So.
Because what we like to do now is get like them when they're in their late teens, pretty much, and you can see the potential.
Yeah.
And then start working with them and get them used to it and how it's going to work and all that, and then they eventually they stay loyal and they come through and everyone's. It's just
can you name all 16 people?
I almost
I'm
did.
joking.
He almost did.
No, but that was like George. We watched George at
Path to
Hex, wasn't it? And the guys, Path to Hex, they were great. They put us up as well. They gave us the skybox there, and when we flipped, give us a great treatment.
That's
we watched
now.
George.
Is that Ascension now?
That's Ascension now, and then there's
Hex
another
as well,
amateur,
isn't
which is Road to Hex, I think, another amateur one. I'm not sure what's happening there, but
yeah, we saw George, and he won his fight on that show, and he was like 6-0 amateur. Like he's looking good, you know, like all finishes, and it's that's how it's happened. We've just caught the guys at good times, and so it's like an investment, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and obviously we're growing too, so it's nice that we can all grow together.
Yeah.
So as
and
we
again,
get bigger,
like
they're going to be
the more that you get on that big screen, whether people start following them in UFC and then they see the training inside their own gyms and they're wearing the Vex gear and they go, "Oh, what's that stuff?" That looks like it'd be good because he's using that. So then that's the whole point, isn't it? To try and grow it. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Like,
it would have been easier back in the day when the guys could wear the gear in the cage, like for UFC and that. Like you're a sponsor them, you know straight away they're going to go in there.
Yeah.
They get like some crazy knockout and they're wearing all your stuff.
Was it like Dynamic Fastener used to sponsor like every? You remember them? That brand?
Yeah.
They used to sponsor like everything. Like every fighter would come out on a UFC card, they have Dynamic Fastener on the back of their like shorts.
I remember.
Oh yeah,
I remember.
Spending some
what was that
cash.
one? It was all like gaudy, all so bright. I forgot what it's called now.
there was so many crazy.
They obviously
ones.
had the tap out stuff at first.
Yeah.
But then there was.
Jayco brand. Do you remember that one?
I'm not
Jayco,
sure.
Wasn't that
Jacko,
like a
wasn't it?
judo brand?
Oh,
Was it Jack?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was like
like JACO or something.
yeah, but like with horns.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, there was like some people like sponsored by like Dude
Infliction.
Wipes
Was
or
that
whatever.
Infliction or something like that?
Affliction was a
Wasn't that something like that?
Yeah, there was one, but there was I think I know what you're talking about. There was like that.
And it was
like
like
flashy.
Yeah, it was
brand,
really
wasn't it?
flashy. Yeah.
so like barbed wire.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's even
So my
back-
dad had a few of them too.
even back when first competing in jiu-jitsu used to be at the UWA Judo Hall, and like you'd go out there and there's like not a girl in sight, you know, like it's just dudes everywhere, and then
It was Affliction.
and then
wasn't it?
everybody's just wearing Affliction,
bad boy tops
bad
on.
boy tap out. There's like Soa Palele walking around. They're just like not
that-
many, but 3 mats running now. Like
Now if someone walks in with a tap out t-shirt, you're like, oh
yeah.
Get a Vex shirt.
yeah.
And then you remember like you'd go to like Shudo, like Habby would be running Shudo. You go down to a Shudo, and it looks like if you double leg someone, you're gonna like pile drive them into the roof because it's like, or you'd be in the Italian club or something, and it's like everyone's just now you're at HBF Arena for shows or like all these different stadiums.
That was some venue, Italian club venue.
Yeah.
I'm going there actually. There's a female-only Muay Thai show, and I got one of the girls matched on.
They still do the Muay Thai,
So I'm gonna go there. It's a pretty cool little venue. It's like quite cozy, and everyone's like, the atmosphere is pretty cool.
Remember, I think you were fine. You're walking out from the back, and you're like going through the crowd. Like,
yeah.
Out the way.
There's a massive crew there, wasn't there?
Can you remember the first fight? Remember what you felt like for your first fight?
Yeah, I remember just going 100% out the gate and just being like the most gassed I've ever been in my life. You know what I mean? Like the adrenaline dump. I was just, I couldn't. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't even think I could come out from the corner. You know what I mean?
Was your first one?
So
just remind me, like, because your first one was it when was that the one when you finished him in the second?
No,
that was your first.
That went to the. I'm pretty sure the first one. Yeah, and it was in that big sports hall place. All the lights were
it must have been your second fight.
I don't know if his name was Lockie or something.
Oh, that's right. When
and
decision.
he used to train at Mach 1, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then the next one was Gershom.
Because the second fight, you were much more composed because you had all the Muay Thai fights.
No, the second fight is the one I lost, wasn't it? Or was it Gershom?
No. I'm talking about the
first one.
MMA.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Muay Thai.
No, MMA.
Sorry.
Just
MMA.
Catch up, mate. How much whiskey you had?
2 sips.
MMA was Italian club.
Yeah. So who was your first fight?
The Irish lad.
Oh, sorry. So
yeah,
then
and I got the knockout
was that
in the second round.
That's right. Because I remember that fight because we had like 5 fighters on the all one, and then you went out and you landed the hook like twice, and then you came back the corner, and I was like. You were like, I think I can knock him out. I was like, with a hook, and he goes, yeah, with a hook, and I was like, oh, cool, and he's like really composed, and I was like, yeah, do that then, and then he went back out, and then he stepped back, and then threw the hook and knocked him out.
It was like 20 seconds in, wasn't it? But he like rushed me, and I remember stepping back, so I was actually in southpaw, I think, and I threw my kick, and as my kick came down, I threw my right hook, and it landed.
And it just dropped him,
so.
It was good.
It happened very fast, I remember.
So out of all the Muay Thai and then the MMA fights, which was you think your hardest one?
Well, obviously the second one with Gershom is the one I lost, but it was probably the most beneficial because after that fight, I knew I kind of got my...
That's Muay Thai.
Yeah, Muay Thai, sorry.
That's the guy who was clinching with your heaps. Was that the one?
I can't even fully remember, but
all right.
I lost on points for that one, and I know, the loss helped me so much because I got into all the sports psychology books and all that kind of thing, and it took me to another level. The loss was actually a beneficial thing, I think. Probably learnt more losing than the win, you know what I mean? But they're all tough, I guess. But I had pretty good fights, so you know what I mean. I think I won them, so I don't know.
Yeah. You're always very composed.
Yeah, that's
even
what
you got your picture up on the wall here, and like you just stood there, you got a bit of blood coming down. You're like,
I spent a lot of time. That was probably the mental.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time on it outside the gym, like on the mental and visualizing. I remember even before the last MMA fight, I used to go down, it was like summer, so it was nice at night. I'd go down to the beach for like almost an hour and just chill and even like close my eyes and almost like meditate on the beach and just visualize driving to the venue, like looking around, what it would look like when I'm walking out, getting in there. I'd try and visualize the ring announcer calling my name and how I would win the fight and what I would do once I've won, and all of that stuff. And I'd do it like over and over and over again all the time. It
helps so much. We used to do a lot more in here. We used to do a lot more where we like turn the lights off, we like get them to do it.
I used to do it sometimes.
With the coaching. It's just, it helps a lot. I haven't done it for a little while yet, unless I've done it individually with someone, you know.
I found that very helpful and just like getting the feeling of winning in my own mind and like having the feeling of like, I'm like get excited for it almost, you know. And then that was a big part of it. So once I got to the venue, I felt like obviously you still feel the nerves and stuff, but I felt like I'd been there and I'd done it already. You know what I mean? I'm like I know why I'm here. I've been preparing for this. I'm here. So that was just, the mental was a big part of it. Yeah.
And yet in your last fight was against Quillen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is now someone you sponsor with the Vex.
No,
which is crazy how it comes around.
It is crazy. Yeah, he's stuck it out.
Quill wants it back.
Hey?
Quill wants it back.
He's waiting for me.
He nearly had it back. It was 10 more seconds.
I know. Saved by the bell.
I remember that. Like I remember that
bell.
I was in the crowd watching that, and I can remember like that ending. And
Ryan's winning, and I remember from memory, you were in that clinch. There's literally 10 seconds to go or something, and then you started to like you disengaged and sort of went off. And then he chased after you with a hook.
No, we were
wasn't it?
We were up against the cage, and we were in that position so much in the fight.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, he was pressuring me up against the cage, and I had like a whizzer or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just yanked his arm out and threw like an uppercut.
Was it? Okay,
and it was up against the cage. It happened. I dropped to my knee and the bell went.
Yeah.
And then I remember getting up and stumbling over a little bit,
Where the hell am I?
Trying to pretend that I didn't get hit.
Yeah, I think you were like grabbing him, like holding him up, and then,
put him on the shoulder.
Yeah, he's like, and you're like, get up. Like, it's fine.
It was like
fine.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, whoever you were with, you were like Kev or Courtney or something. You're like, get it. He's fine.
No,
that's cool.
Yeah, no, but that fight went really well. I remember, because that was the first one at HBF Stadium.
Yes, it was a big one.
The biggest venue I'd been in, and Quillen seemed like he was game, So I remember going into it thinking like it's going to be tough, you know. And I remember thinking that going into it, and it was. But I remember once I got into it, I was kind of getting the better in some situations, and I felt really good. And then we just ended up in that cage position a lot. I remember that, like he'd pressure me, and I was up against the cage a lot, and just. Yeah, we were just had a lot of control time there, and he capitalized it right at the end. Like he must have thought in his head, I may as well just go for it. You know what I mean? And it works.
There's no doubt that he isn't. He's so good.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I mean. He was pumping out his fights, wasn't he? So he was just like one after the other.
He's really good everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah.
I always thought like that was the thing. Even though you say like it's like the amateurs. Definitely the level's like crazy. Like you could watch all amateurs and almost be like, not even know, is this guy pro or not?
Yeah.
But then I say this to you a lot, like when I'm at Eternal or whatever, you're watching Hex or something, and then it's like you watch, and then it goes from the amateurs to the pros, and there is a difference on those a little bit more seasoned guys. Sometimes. Almost the amateur stuff is like can be a bit more exciting in a sense of just, it's a little bit more like throw caution to the wind.
Some of the amateurs have it already. You can see like the composure and the technique and stuff like that.
That Lewis lad, like you can see that he's going to be very good, especially at that young age. And you've got other lads coming through for us, like Jesse's turning pro, and he's doing his pro fight next weekend. We're going to be over in Eternal in Queensland, but he's always had that composure and that moving. Actually, Kev, Frank, all the lads coming through, like they've done so much amateur. And they've trained so long that they're just like they feel so comfortable. You see a big difference.
Kev's experience is insane.
Yeah.
The amount of competitions he's been in and stuff, and that's another one. He's ready. Yeah. You know what I mean? Look at the fight him and Harry had. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Let's not talk about that.
But that was
an amazing fight. Yeah.
Like them two have
fight.
Just respect for each other.
Exactly.
All that.
Yeah, that was a crazy
fight. So
because that was the same night that Frank had just fought. And Frank had knocked the lad out, like knocked him down and choked the lad out for the title.
He did the knee, didn't he?
And I'm like ecstatic. I'm like, oh my god, it's a crazy fight because obviously he's getting a bit out wrestled. He's just Frank's in the corner, just super composed.
He's I'm an American guy.
And I'm like, don't worry about it. We're gonna get him on this. We're gonna get him on that. And he's like, cool, like that. And he wasn't like panicking. And I just felt like he was going to do something. And he was practicing that knee and that switch knee backstage, and he's been practicing it a while. So he hit him with that knee and then he chokes him out. So I'm like over the moon, like wins the title. And I come backstage and like Kevin's just warming up, ready. He's going out next. So I come on the corner, I'm like, oh, calm down. Yeah, it's fine. You all good? You all good? Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, we're going to go out. No, you got a massive fight ahead of you now. I'll just calm down a little bit. Frank, just stay over there a second. It was like, and that was insane. And like we were in the corner just shouting, screaming, and it was just insanity.
We were out the back. It was I think it was me, Bosch, and Cam out the back with Kev, and obviously Harry's in the room next door.
Yeah.
And then we've got the phone, and we're watching Frank fight, and we're sitting here watching this. Kev's like just doing his thing. Like this is the thing. Like Kev is just like so professional now. Like I'm just like, what do you want me to? You just tell me. Like I don't need to. You don't need to tell him.
He's been there enough times.
Because obviously Steve was out with Frank. So we were out the back getting Kev ready, and I'm like, tell me when you want to go. Yeah, okay, I'm ready to go. We're going to grapple. We're going to do this. Okay, now that he can just run it. So you just do what he wants. Cool, that's enough. Then we're in the room, and then you can just hear Harry like hitting the pads in the room next door, and it's just like, and like me, Bosch, and Cam are all like watching Frank's fight. But
all you can hear is that.
Yeah, and then Kev's like trying to like get in the zone, like he's like doing his mental thing, and he's like sort of moving around on his own, but he can hear that next door.
So you didn't have headphones,
and then he's also like the phone's going, but we can hear. It's a delay.
It's always about a 20-second delay.
Yeah.
And so then you just hear, and then we're like,
You're just glued to the phone.
we're just like, what happened? But then I'm like,
who got knocked out? Who got knocked out?
I'm like, Frank's got it because the crowd wouldn't have gone that nuts for the other guy. Like they've gone nuts for Frank. And then, he gets it. And then so we're all like, and like tell Kev. And then Kev's like, all good. But after the fight, he always brings that up. Like when we're in there watching the phone, you're listening out there. He's listening to Harry next door.
It's an insane thing to like go through. Even like you know, I remember even just driving to the venue, knowing that you're gonna go in there. You know what I mean? It's insane. You're like, you know, you're gonna.
You're questioning with your sanity.
Yeah,
you're like going, I'm gonna step in the cage and we're gonna.
This
bash
guy's
each
been
other.
preparing to fight me.
Like he's training a lot. Now I'm training a lot.
Yeah.
And we're both ready. And we're both going to beat the crap out of each other.
He's trained 8 weeks just to fight me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what am I doing? But but after it, especially if you win, obviously, it's an amazing feeling.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think
it's good.
is what you're chasing, isn't it? But it's a learning experience. You learn a lot about yourself.
100%.
You know,
100% like
competing.
Because there's times in your fight where you feel like you want to give up.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of mental
stuff
on
and you're questioning stuff during the fight. And then it's just, again, it comes back to that mental. And then cardio is such a big, such a secret weapon. Like, so if you've got good cardio and then the other person, you see him gassing, you're like, oh, I've got you now. You know what I mean? Like,
it gives you like a second win.
100%, 100%. Unless they're like super more technical than you, but even if they're starting to gas, they can't do what they normally can do. So to have the mental gain and the cardio gain, I think that's the main thing. I said you guys can all have that before you go in. That person could be better than you. Obviously you don't know till you get in, because you see someone wrestling on jiu-jitsu, and until you really get hold of them, you don't know.
And they could look amazing on pads and all of that
exactly.
stuff, right? But as soon as your gas tank's gone, it does not matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
Big time.
So so you've got some, it's got some really good, good guys on your roster.
It's insane. It's really.
The team's actually kind of crazy, isn't it? Really, when you think about it.
A lot of things just seem to be happening naturally.
Yeah.
You know, things are just falling in place.
Is that because the structure's in place with the PRP guys and stuff?
Even before that, big time, things like that is helping a lot, because we all kind of have our roles now within the company and stuff, and we all work on, you know, I deal a lot with the suppliers and the marketing and the designs and stuff. Lewis deals a lot with the fighters, so he's, you know, messaging the fight, organizing things like that. Ryan's the same. Ryan kind of has his hand in a, you know, in all the things with us, and oversees things, and he's a big financial help as well, you know. And then Pat oversees all the financial, like, admin side of it all. You know, like organising, you know, how the company's structured and all that kind of thing. So all that stuff's amazing. But even before then, just how things have come together, and the people we've met and the people who've wanted to help us and
people
work with us.
People like trusting us doing it as well, pretty much. And like,
just
I can't believe people trust you.
I know.
They just
still think every day.
See the vision as well, you know, and. We've got a big goal. We think, why can't we be the outfitter for UFC one day and go worldwide? And I think we can do it. So
all starts from somewhere, and it's sort of like you go on tracking on the right way, and then before you know it, then you'll be like on these massive shows. You know,
it's definitely had its ups and downs.
It has. But I think that's anything, and it's like fighting.
Yeah,
like fighting. You know, you can go in the cage and you lose a fight, and it's not like football. You get to go again next weekend. You've got to sit on that loss then for maybe 2-3 months.
And you might have done everything right.
Everything right,
My nutrition was good, my fitness was good, I did all the training I did, and I went in some reason, I got caught with this, or this is the problem I had, you know.
And you got to sit on that for months.
You could fly all the way to Vegas to compete in Worlds and get held down for 5 minutes. I'm just like,
this could happen.
That might happen to someone, like all the way. You know, you got 13 hours flight, and then that's it. And then you got to just leave and then your wife's like, why didn't you get up? And you're like, well.
It's so funny.
Who was that?
Me. That's me. It was the first one. We went to Vegas, and there's a brown belt. I was competing as brown belt. Oh, someone's knocked the thing.
Might be yours.
Young Robin will sort it.
It's
There we
this
go.
one. It's this one.
There you go.
Louis' foot.
Yeah, I went to Vegas. The brown belt. First one I've done like in Vegas, and like you go
Was
into
that brown belt?
That's brown belt.
Oh,
That one, yeah. So I went into the pit. It's that little pit you go in, you get checked out and stuff. Yeah, the ball pen. And I was like going there, and I'm all like ready to rock and roll. I see this guy's jacked. Like he's absolutely jacked.
Who are you
Like,
going
he's-
up against?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I was like,
okay,
he's
yeah.
definitely on something, but all the other ones look about my age and about the sort of same sort of thing. And I was like, oh, if I don't get this guy. And I went there, and I got there, and my belt was like a bit frayed because I've been brown belt for like 1,000 years. And it's gone again.
It's just this one.
Let's just drop
I have to hold that there, yeah. Got a new one there.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
I'll do it.
Yeah, so they go out and they go, oh, you can't use that belt. I'm like, what? I had 5 minutes to get anything. I was like, where am I going to get a belt from? And he said, oh, you might be able to find one here. So I'm running around the whole place.
Well, they don't let you use it if it's frayed.
Yeah, they have.
It was like it's like
Strict,
really
strict,
tough
yeah.
rules, yeah.
A lot of tough. It's pretty cool though. They're all in like full suits and they like
Yeah.
check you.
But it isn't when your belt's full.
Well, it is.
So
Right before you're about to go
so
on.
How
stressful.
frayed was it?
It was just like, it's just old because I'd had it for forever. Yeah, I've been brown belt forever. But I'd run around the place, couldn't find anywhere selling belts. Finally, I got the last belt. I was going back to the ball pen just to say like, please let me in. And I seen like this some belts underneath a table, and I was like, oh, have you got any brown belts? And it's like, oh, we do actually. We've got two. And I bought one, ran over, and I put the brown belt on. Put it on, went in there, and then she looked at my gi. It was a different woman. It was a guy before, it was a different woman. Looks at my gi and then goes, oh, and she's measuring it. And I'm like, are you joking? This is like brand new gi. And they went, nah, come in. So I went in, I'm all stressing out.
No.
And then they went, oh, and then they shouted me out. I went there, and then they shouted this other guy out.
And it was him.
No, nobody came.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, I might get a buy. I'm like, at first I'm like, yes.
Please.
And then this guy turns up and I'm like, oh no, it's the guy who's jacked. And he happened to win last year. I didn't know this at the time. He's won the 2 worlds in a row.
Yeah.
And I went with him. Started off the match and it's like in the gi. And then I went for my takedown. And I sort of like got this like little bit of a takedown, but then I messed it up at the end and he got side control, and that was the match.
That was it.
It was him holding side control and me trying to get out of side control. And it was just like getting held down, and he wasn't going for anything. I'm trying to escape it. I'm doing it. And it was just like such a big learning curve for me. He was so good. Obviously, he did it a lot. He was waiting for me to step over and get the sound bar, but I wasn't. And I thought I had more time than I did. Looked at the time, it was a minute left, and I'm like panicking. But anyway, we went the second year for Vegas, and we went to see a comedy show.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because the guy on stage, his ears are all messed up. So it looks like his ears. Yeah. Cauliflower ears.
Yeah.
And he's a wrestler, and he starts talking about this comedy sketch about him being held down. His coach like, why are you getting held down? Just stand up. And it was the most funniest thing because obviously, and then he just keeps looking at me going, why don't you just stand up? Why don't you just stand up? I'm like, shut up. But it was so funny.
In the comedy sketch, he's like, he goes, yeah, my coach says to me, he goes, I can't get up, coach. I couldn't get up. And he goes, if I held your head down underwater, I bet you'd get up then, wouldn't you?
He's like, no, I probably couldn't.
He's like, I'd probably be dead. But I kept saying that to Steve.
Yeah, it's funny.
It was so funny.
But again, like all them stuff, it's just great experience. Like, you know what I mean? Doing it, it's like so much fun.
You know, it's just the competing is you just learn so much.
It's wicked.
Yeah, you learn things about yourself that you would never be put in a situation to learn about yourself.
Yes.
Other than in the
100%.
Even in one of my Muay Thai fights, I remember getting hit right on the top of the head, like I had straight punch, and it like buzzed me.
Yeah.
And it's good to know in that situation. I always think you're gonna have to knock me out to like end it. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on then, like you're gonna have to knock me out. And just to know that's where my mind went in that situation was like good for me, to know.
Because you can go 2 ways.
I want to get out of it. I was like, you got to knock me out if you want to finish
You can get hit and panic and then be like, oh, shit, I've got to do something. I'm looking for a way out. Or you get hit and you go, all right, let's go. And until you're in there, unless you do like lots of hard sparring, you don't really know how you're going to do it. You know what I mean? And then that's the thing, putting guys in the fight, the amateurs, I don't really know how they're going to react. You know what I mean? I put them in situations and we do stuff. We try not to do all hard sparring. We try and do a lot of light technical sparring, then some hard sparring. But you don't know when they get hit a bit how they're going to react and how they're going to panic, and then you're going to learn from there. You know what I mean?
Some just don't like it, do they?
Nah.
You
I think my biggest learning in judo was when I think I was pretty much, I won nationals in the UK when I was like 15 before I came here, and it was like the European qualifiers that were based in London, and I've won like most like comps before that as well, before nationals, and I was like, went down with some big ego, oh yeah, I'll pan most of these Europeans that come over, and I got drawn against an Israeli. I didn't know how good they were at grappling.
Yeah. So
I went out. Dad's like, yeah, because he used to do all these signals on the side of the mat, like 1, 2, 3 would be different moves. He was like coaching me from there. And I was like so confident. I was like so in the zone. Went out, bang, fit 10 seconds, lost.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this out? We've got knockout rounds.
Yeah.
And then when I went off the mat, I remember Dad just giving me a dress and saying, look, this is, because he could see how like cocky I was before going on.
Yeah.
Because I'd just done so well beforehand, but he's like, you can't take everything for granted. Like, you're going to go out there and win constantly.
Yeah.
Good lesson.
Yeah, it killed me.
Yeah.
But I remember just dying inside.
Especially if it's like...
I was like,
I
thought I was the best.
Yeah.
And I was like...
What belt was this?
This would have been green.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been.
And did you compete? Because obviously if you got to brown, so you kept competing after that?
Yeah, because in England it's different. So you get your, here you get yellow, your orange, and your green, and your brown.
Yeah.
In the UK you go like yellow, and then you get tabs. So you go like one stripe orange, 2 stripe orange, and then you go orange belt, and then you go green tabs on your orange belt.
Right,
And
yeah.
you work up from there.
that.
So you don't get, then you'll go green, then blue stripes.
Yeah. In the juniors here, they do half belts.
Yeah.
So it's like you'll go like white, yellow,
Yeah.
yellow. I mean, that's for juniors.
Yeah.
And then obviously adult belts are full colours.
Yeah.
But because you can't coach during a judo match either, can you? Like
No.
we're yelling in a
Because
jiu-jitsu
on
match.
jits, you just sat on the corners.
Yeah, yelling.
Whereas
Judo.
you don't have your coach.
No.
Oh,
That's
really?
so that's
I
when
never
my
know
dad,
that.
that's when my dad would always be
That's why you
off
said
the
the
side.
hand
He'd be like
signals.
doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You'd be
Or 1
watching
and
it?
2. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you get stops and you have to
Yeah,
restart.
true.
I'd
When
look
you
at
just that, it's bad.
Dad would be going,
Yeah, so there's so because sometimes you get like you re-stood up.
Yeah.
But there's no you can't be like, okay, well now I've seen, like if you're his coach, you can't be like, oh, I've seen what this guy's going for. I'm going to tell him now.
Yeah.
This is what you need. Like we were doing a fight or whatever.
I never knew that. I never.
Yeah.
But obviously,
I
Olympics,
did a couple of.
you have your coaches in the corner, but they can't say
can't
too
talk.
much.
I did a couple of years in judo in the UK, but I never actually competed. I never knew that was the case in judo.
Because the mats are quite far back. Well, we speak in nationals now. They're quite far back behind the barrier.
Yeah.
And then, my dad always just be sat there watching, or
Yeah.
leaning on the barrier going.
It's a bit of a fear discipline,
Is
isn't
that
it,
two?
in MMA, like someone who's real good at judo.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like
You're
you
like-
said before.
you've
it
gotta
is-
really
If you
think
can
about them.
transition it.
Yeah.
If you can
Yeah.
transition it. Some people seem like they've got such good accolades, but they can't transition it to having no grips. But then some of the guys got it down to a T.
Yeah.
When you look at like someone like Ronda Rousey or like was it Kayla Harrison, people like that.
Yeah.
And what was that other lad who was in the UFC? He was back in the day. He was fighting when Matt Serra was fighting and stuff like that. I forgot what he was called now, but he was a really good.
Hector Lombard.
No. Well, he's obviously one of them,
Yeah,
but
Hector was-
it wasn't the
Hector
guy
was
I was thinking of. But he used to pull off some amazing throws.
Yeah.
Even
Those
Dan
throws,
Kelly, man.
like before
Who?
you know
Dan
it.
Kelly.
Dan Kelly, from Australia, yeah.
And like Owen Livesey, like he's from the UK, judo black belt, now jiu-jitsu black belt, and just an
That's next
absolute
level, eh?
machine, like
Yeah.
absolute machine.
It would transfer a little bit. You'd be able to get
he's-
your belts up in jiu-jitsu.
What-
pretty
I mean,
quick
he's
after being a
obviously
judo
Yeah.
black belt, right?
like Owen went heavy. He's like all no-gi now,
Hmm.
but it's the foot sweep. So he just
yeah.
I'll watch like highlight reels of him just training in his gym, and he's
Yeah.
just foot sweeping everyone like it's nothing.
Well,
It's
it's
even
'cause-
sparring him back in the day. Like that was his always thing. You'd always be like trying to sweep your front foot when you're sparring.
Because
you
when
know,
you're
and it's
sparring,
like-
everyone's always so front heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you take that leg out,
Yeah.
it's like a...
What about
This thing he used to try and get me in, what do you call it,
Oh, the-
crucifix.
Tapping
Tapping you on the foot. You used to do the same thing as well, actually.
yeah, like, and then also like you've got things like that. That's why Ronda, obviously her striking didn't hold up in the end, but she would just hip toss you, or like Oigoshi straight into into Keza, and then that's it. It's like that's it. So it's all over, until she wrote, or she would like hip toss straight into an armbar.
Finish so many fights just quickly, right? Like
So then if she obviously the game was catching up, but it's like if she could have maybe brought her striking up as well, or now you've got a formidable opponent, and then same with Reece Allen.
Yeah, Reece,
Reece Allen, so he went
up.
He
was on an absolute tear.
Yeah,
as well
so I think he was like black belt judo, Commonwealth Games, stuff like that, and then there's a lot of politics in judo, just like jiu-jitsu. Got disenfranchised with it, bailed, and then went all no-gi in jiu-jitsu. He started at Mark 1.
Well, he did the no-gi European and won that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was like on Battlegrounds. He was going here. He was. I don't know what's happened to him at the moment. It's like
he's over in England at the moment,
moved to
isn't
the
he?
UK. He's
is he?
Bristol.
And he was training in Wales and stuff as well, and competing over there. And
what's that gym called?
But like a black belt in judo has to compete at blue in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, blue belt,
And I remember I was there for his first comp, and he was under Mark 1, and man, I was like, these poor guys, like these blue belts.
They don't know what they're going to
start from standing, right? And he just literally threw every single one of them on the ground, armbarred them all. Like,
Reece's grappling is literally something different.
Yeah.
Well, he did your first ever Vex video when we did it at the Wolves then.
Yeah.
I said when it was Mac 1.
Yeah. It wasn't. I don't think that was our very first one.
Well, it's the one that gets used all the time.
The one that gets used at Domination. We did it
because it had them in. It had like
we had like 8
I was like
lads
Kev, Frankie,
Kira came down.
Kira, yeah.
Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison was there.
Reece,
Kev, Frankie.
Yeah.
Who did that video again? What was his name?
It was Robin. Robin did that.
No, it wasn't Robin.
Did you do the video? I don't think you did that one. No.
It was your sister's.
Are you
mate.
sure? Oh, Tony.
Tona.
Yeah,
Tony Knight.
Sorry, yeah. But Robin did one of the early ones as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Young Robin.
But no, it's been good. Yeah. It's been a good journey, and so.
So what's the ultimate goal then? To supply UFC with the gloves?
Well, that's like be a worldwide, well-known brand. We look at like Venom and stuff like that, and we can do that as well. That's our plan. Our goal is to be one of the biggest MMA brands in the world.
Yeah. I don't think it's impossible.
It's very possible.
No, it's not. You're going in the right direction. You're getting the top guys like coming into the UFC, and they're going to come through. And if obviously that relationship stays, then you're going to like really get some really good publicity through that as well. I reckon because if someone's like doing really well in UFC, then they're going to probably follow their gym, follow their training, follow their person, and then they're going to see what they're using for training and things like that. And if they're advertising your gear, this is what we use. Oh, I should be using that because
it's the same as football, isn't it? It's like Ronaldo.
Yes.
This is wear Nike, and the kids
exactly.
go by. I'm going to get some Nike.
Some Nike. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I feel like in Australia, it's like Volkanovski. They kind of become stars in Australia. You know what I mean? And we've got some good lads on the team that are going to do the same thing.
I think when you first came to me and said, should I do this? I said, yes. I think now 10% I should be getting.
The amount of times you've used the gym,
no,
something.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. It's really good to see.
No, it was quite funny when we first made it, and we brought the gloves down. We were like, Steve, can you touch these gloves?
Our very first design.
What do you reckon?
Very first design was it was like a wonky Vex. We didn't realize until we'd done like the video.
Yeah.
And the Vex on the shirts were like wonky. I don't know what like the supply we used.
It was the white. Remember
the white stitch ones?
Stitch ones.
Yes. I remember.
And we had these photos and we put them up and we was like, is that wonky?
Yeah.
And they're like, so
the white stitch.
Stitch
on
one,
the rashy.
Have you still got it?
Like,
That's a vintage collectible.
Yeah, I mean, it looks so crazy when you look at it.
I know
now.
it's not good, not a good look, but
you think about
we're improving big time on our quality
the new
now.
Stuff's great.
We're working with a new supplier who's sampling for us now, and they're actually from Perth, and that they want to work with us properly and help us grow.
How do
they're
you
taking us to the
decide-
next level, like all the little finer details, even like this down to the swing tags and the quality of them and the packaging and the stitching, like putting piping on the stitches so you can't see the stitches.
But
and
it's a
stuff
learning
like that.
curve, isn't it? Because you're going to do one, and
big
you're going to
time.
get this one's perfect now, and you're going to go actually. This is a bit
More.
tight
You think
here.
it's
Oh, this is
perfect,
gonna.
and
This is
then
like
you must
actually
down.
after 3 washes, this is doing this or
Yeah,
whatever, and
yeah.
you learn until you get that really
Exactly.
good
How
quality
do you
stuff.
decide, like, obviously, how often to say innovate a design? Like, how often are you always just like, how can we make this better the whole time, or do you sort of release something and go, okay, let that run, we'll work on something else and come back to that, or
It's
does
more
it
like
happen
material that
naturally?
comes in the market as well, really.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly. And I try the stuff as well because I've worn loads of rash guards and stuff, and you know what feels good and what's good quality, and just even looking at the stuff and seeing how the stitching is, and if it's like tight stitching or if it's loose and frayed, when you know, all those little things, and the quality of the print and all of that, and just you can tell which ones are going to last. And so we found good suppliers, good products, good packaging and all that. We're happy with it now, but we're even taking it to the next level with the fine details of like
because remember when we had the Velcro shorts. And then
moving away from Velcro and all that kind of thing.
That was our first one.
Because like the rest of it was great, but then that started going, and it was like starting to stick. And it's just like, again, I don't think there's a lot of like, I won't say different names, but lots of different people have come in with different supplies and they've given me stuff. And then I've tried it and I've gone, well, this is great, except for this one thing which is irritating. And it's just learning, isn't it, as you go? It's like martial arts. You learn and you think you're the best in the world, and then you realise, oh, I can't do this move, or I can't do that, and then you start getting better and better, and then you got a really good quality thing.
It literally is a learning curve.
It does seem to happen. You know? I've noticed sort of naturally, it seems to happen across the board, like with the gear though. Like everyone sort of in it. Some maybe somebody in like the Velcro. The Velcro was the thing, you know. Like everyone had Velcro.
It was like the classic, the classic MMA short.
And then as soon as you get someone that's like not doing the Velcro, and then you're like, oh, so much better. And then it kind of everybody just rises up and does the same thing.
I think the first pair of shorts I got were the Venom. They were all Velcro.
I used to wear Venom a lot.
No, there was lots of Velcro.
Yeah, I did.
But I had Sprawl. Sprawl were my first. I bought 3 pairs of Sprawl shorts. Do you remember Sprawl?
I remember Sprawl,
I had 3 pairs, and they were like down past your knees. So that was like and like I had a red pair, a black pair, and a white pair, and they literally lasted me like 10 years. Like that, because everything was so thick as well. Like it was just like literally.
But everyone had at that stage. Everyone had these long ones. But then,
they were like canvas.
When I started, it was maybe like 10 years before you. And then I had the really tight ones,
shorts,
you know, like the Mark Kerr ones. And I was like, how did I ever wear them? I was like, I would never wear my little skinny white legs.
You like hybrids now, don't you?
I do like hybrids,
hybrids?
I do actually.
The thighs out a little bit.
Yeah, I like them,
everybody.
You've always been knee-length shorts, really.
Everybody has like sort of their preferences as well, you know. But it sort of happens across the board, and then you're like, this is good. And same with the quality, you can tell, because I get given stuff or sent some stuff sometimes, and then. And then I'm like, oh, like, you know, you get like, I would get like rash under my arms, because I'm in here. I might do like 6 hours in a day of like jiu-jitsu, or that straight away you're gonna find out, because it's just you do that much. It's like a normal person's usage in over a month I'm doing in like a half a week.
Exactly.
So I don't think you're supposed to wear it for 6 hours in a row. you can change it between sessions.
Can you?
I'm just saying. Yeah.
Hey, but I've got one question though.
Because he doesn't wash them, he just dries them.
Someone told me that you're meant to wash your gi after every class, and
that's a myth.
That's a myth.
Wash it and hang it out in the sun, so it's just like cardboard.
That's what you do for judo, isn't it?
That's what it's doing in comps, Wash it out before, hang it out.
Stiff.
So it's stiff. And then we used to rip it, so at the end of the fingers off.
We're just talking about that testing thing, because we're going like 5 years now, and we've had all these lads who are just in the gym constantly wearing the gloves and the shin pads, and that's who we get our feedback from. Because they're the lads who are using it the most, and one of the things we are proud of is the glove quality. So we're pretty happy with our gloves and our shin guards. We're going to keep improving where we can. But
it's like Jake said about the gloves, Jake Matthews. He said the 12 ounces are just...
He loves them. Yeah. And they're all honest. Like, no one's like...
Well, they've got nothing to... Why would they lie?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you want. And then if the only time that they wouldn't really give you good feedback is if you don't do anything about it. Like if I've said this is too like loose here or too tight here or whatever, and then you go, okay, cool, and then you never change it. But if you're actually trying to improve it all the time,
you have to try and get a few different feedbacks. Yes. Some people are very particular, and you can't necessarily change a whole glove because one person feels it. But if multiple people are saying one thing, or we can see things like even on the shin guards, I've noticed the bottom strap's a bit long. And it just hangs over when it's Velcroed up, and I've noticed that, and I changed that myself because I was like, I don't like how that looks, and it's not needed.
Because everyone's got a different size. You might have a small, medium, and large, but the calf size is going to be very different, you know.
Fine, but other lads have real,
So I always thought like you could have like a little, like a loop on the side where you put it through or something like that. Because otherwise, sometimes it hangs out like on people's stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
Where it overhangs. I was like, we need to cut that size.
There's nothing worse than that when you're kicking. It's like flapping around.
Some of the lads tape them, you know.
Yeah.
The thing I hate the most is with the gloves and the Velcro, like starting to come off with the gloves, and you're just getting your face ripped up,
scratched up,
or like my brand new rash is just like, I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
thanks.
that's the worst.
You're not talking about the Vex now, are you?
No,
in general, I'm just saying, whatever it is, like
No, I remember that. The exact same
Stuff
thing.
like
And
that,
you're
and then
getting
obviously-
scratched on your neck and stuff, and you're all rolling in the sweat, and it's not a good.
It's the worst.
Obviously, it all gets like, everyone, you guys develop, and everything gets like better and better, and then those problems get like fixed.
But at the end of the day, like, they're gonna get wear and tear. They're not gonna last forever anyway. And you know, you're wearing them every day. Velcro is not gonna last forever. And it's until you figure.
And
out
they're getting the
another
change
way,
as well, because there's a certain brand I used to use when I was like younger, for like Thai boxing, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to use that, and these ones I've had for 10 years. Like, they've never gone around the Velcro, stayed on or whatever. Bought a new pair of them, and it lasted like a month. And then something happened, I was like, oh, the quality's gone on these. Like, because I remember I used to have them like forever, and I used to train with them every day.
What do you reckon's the reason behind that? Do you reckon they get bigger and then it's just like, oh,
maybe just lose.
Costs?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I think everything.
Because I've been given Thai pads before, and it was a brand. I don't like saying the brands, but like, it was a brand, and it was mostly a clothing martial arts. But they give me like Thai pads, and they even said to me, they're pretty shit. And I was like, but you can have them, just try them out for free. And I was like, all right, sweet. And like, I literally got like someone small to kick me, and I was like, I will never use these. Like, it was so
You
bad.
need good ones as
yeah,
well
it
when
was
you're
really bad.
coaching. You got, like,
so are you guys
Ashley
gonna bring in like
equipment, big time. Yeah. So we want to do
the mitts we've tested are good.
Yeah, we want to do all of it. So have a full equipment section, skipping ropes, training bags, even towels, water bottles.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to. But we just have to focus on certain
100%,
areas. Yeah, I would say in the next 12 months, 2 years now, we're going to be really, really flying. I'd say, it's going to start. Now it's getting its feet now, I'd say, and it's about to start, especially with our marketing. A lot of our marketing has been organic, social media, and just the lads and stuff. We've not done a lot of paid marketing, but now we're putting some real budget into marketing, and that's just starting. Like, even this week, I've been having the meetings with the marketer.
So when will you go like worldwide?
Well, Australia first. I'd still be looking at, we're focused on Australia right now. And once you kind of get to it's just where you get to a certain size, I would say, where it would make sense to go, because, shipping prices change and all that kind of thing then. And but yeah, we've not really scratched the surface of the Aussie market yet. So there's no need, so we can focus on where we know.
Just all takes time. Like anything like opening a gym or something takes time. Like, so you guys started 2019.
Exactly. Look at
It's
that.
2025 now.
How long have you been doing this?
Oh, I've been doing 18. I don't know, maybe 18 years or something like that.
Exactly.
No, 2010. It's 15 years.
Yeah.
But then, like, what? I didn't make any money for the
But
first
you're having
few.
the real
You know what I mean? Like,
success now in the last
exactly,
few years,
and it takes so long to get that reputation,
Exactly.
and then build it up and find, oh shit, I just shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done that, and then you start learning
Do you
curve.
feel like it goes quick, but it doesn't?
Oh, it feels like I can't remember some things from the beginning. It's like
how
even
long?
like training you guys, like when you were like training, like you were fighting and you were training, like that sort of era.
So
that
young.
seems like forever ago. Like, I can't even put my get my head around it. You know what I mean?
But it's like some
cool though,
things.
isn't it?
There's no shortcuts either. It's like it just takes some. We were discussing something last night, me and Steve, like that's going on at the moment, and it's like I was like, I need to go and talk to Steve about this, because it's like I'm a full-time coach now. I've been coaching for I think it's like 6 years or something now, but I was like, no one's going to understand apart from Steve, so I got to go talk to Steve, and then Steve's got like what I've like experienced, but like tenfold. So it's like you can kind of and you only build up all this sort of point of view. Like we discuss it, and then straight away it's like we're on the same page, because of just all the time and the hours of doing something and seeing all the different ways and things can happen and go, and it's like there isn't a shortcut. It's just like it's just like all that accumulates, and that gives you all that
100%,
knowledge. And then I'm like, I've been training for 15 years. The gym's been open. I think I'm like 14 this year. So it's like it wasn't long after you'd opened.
No,
I think it was like probably maybe longer than 14 years.
You've
now.
done your whole journey here then.
From here,
white belt.
for the whole thing.
That's
so,
cool.
and then
Came with his dreadlocks.
yeah,
Dreadlocks.
yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
So it's like 14 something years of training, and you sometimes like people, these experiences and things, you're like, oh, well, I've seen that, I've seen this person, I've seen that type of person, I've seen this happen, I've seen that happen. And then it's like, I talked to Steve, I know he's got that like 3 times. Yeah. He's so old, you know? So it's like,
how old are you?
He's got that 3 times.
I'm actually 27. I'm 27 this year.
I thought you were 25.
Oh, no, 27. Yeah, I look pretty good.
We were saying when we started the brand, we thought we like reinvented the wheel. Like we were gonna make $100,000 the first month or something. You know, we're like,
we were like when we launched,
this is gonna sell out.
That's what I said to you originally. I was like, you got to be ready to lose a lot of money at first. Because
you think, oh, we're doing something real different here. You know,
come in the gym next week, Steve. How's it going? Yeah, it's going good, man.
We're bankrupt. But it's and like you said, we're 5 years in now, and now it's only just kind of getting its feet. But we thought back then it was gonna happen, like because we're doing. It was like, this is cool, this is going to work like quick, you know.
It's because also
and it's had its
the
times.
name affects, it has a meaning as well. That's what, because remember we were
it was after our phone call we had where we were going to do the brand. The next day we met up and we were like discussing names and stuff, having a shisha.
We were wearing a shisha in the front room.
and you brought up the name Vex because it's in a lot of English rap music and hip hop and that kind of thing, and it means like you're making me angry or you're pissing me off. I'm vexed. You're making me vexed. So it was like that's a pretty sick name, and
it goes with fighting.
Yeah, it's like a fight, you know. And we thought it worked really well, and that happened so quick. We got together and we probably thought of that name in like less than an hour or something.
I thought you might have thought of it trying to work with Louis.
Oh, trust me, we've been
vexed
at each other.
We've had our times.
I think it's made it, it makes you closer. It's kind of like you fight with family members, don't you?
Yeah.
It's almost like the exact same.
If you're going for, you both want to succeed in the same thing, but you have different like routes of how you should be getting there, and then suddenly you'll come together and stuff.
We've seen each other like almost every day. And talking every day.
Yeah, we talk every day.
It's like a rash, isn't it?
So it is. It's mad. But it's been good. It is just good working together. We do work well. So
that's good.
He's got ADHD, so he's always going and like Sometimes
I'll be going 1,000 miles per hour.
Saying that you're a perfectionist.
Yeah, exactly.
As in, like, when you used to train, like you used to be like everything's got to be perfect. If this is slightly off,
so
it works well, you know.
Because sometimes even like earlier on with some of that things if we had some defects in that, he'd be like, let's just sell them and then we'll go the next. I'm like, no, we're not selling them because we want to uphold our like reputation. But he's just thinking, let's just get it going. And I'm like, no, it needs to be right.
There has to be one. There has to be one to push it and just go. And the other one has to be like, hold on a sec. But then if you hold on too long, it takes long.
Exactly.
You go too quickly, just throwing out shit.
That's what Ryan Bird's like. Ryan's like me. And then Pat's like Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So Pat's really chilled. He can just do all the financial stuff, and he's just like.
Whereas then me and Ryan can go like to the moon.
Yeah. So these guys can deal with the fighters and stuff, and organising all the events, and it's good because now some things in the company are like out of my hands. Like even the Hex deal. Like I'm not even really a part of the negotiating.
Okay.
Like Lewis and Ryan are dealing with that because I'm dealing with the designers and the marketer and the suppliers and stuff like that. So because we have our roles in the company now, so. Things are just in motion, and I don't even have to be a part of a certain thing going on.
You don't need to, do you?
Exactly.
We all have the whole point of having a partnership.
That's also the positive them boys coming on as well. It takes like load off ourselves.
Pressure off,
you're trying to do too much.
Like I said, those guys are doing really well in their own businesses before that. And I guess another little story to that, Ryan was sponsoring the lads through Rapid Building Approvals. Yeah. And he was kind of thinking, he loves MMA, and he was like, I don't really want to use this company to be sponsoring them because with PRP he's doing the media and you can't really do that with a building approvals company. No. So that's why they made PRP. It
just gets confusing, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So he wanted something that was more in line with MMA, and he could create something. And obviously Pat and Ryan met through Pat doing the finances for Ryan's company, and they've become good friends. And them coming on board has just been it's just been great.
That's great.
Add a lot of structure. So.
And do you think you would like go, okay, I hit the Australia wide, it's going good, we're going to go worldwide, and then are you going to branch into other sports or just stick with combat sports?
We spot. Oh, do you mean? No, I don't think it's an MMA brand. Sorry, but different.
That's what I'm just asking. Yeah, because I've seen some of the ones
where
where they branch out to other things.
We're talking, but like.
Are you thinking like
judo
what, like boxing
and jiu-jitsu?
judo, or you
No. I'm saying like combat sports, yes, but like, would you branch into other sports with the brand?
You could never say never, right? The company now is actually Vex Global.
Yeah.
So it's under Vex Global as the company. Our name is Vex MMA, but
Yeah.
it could be like a sports brand in the future. Who knows? I'm not never say never.
Yeah.
But our
We've always
focus
said
is
that it could be like a Nike.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, but
Yeah.
we're pretty set on it.
But if you end up doing that, I need 10%.
It's gonna get. It's always contracts. He wants to sign on the way out.
Anyway, lads.
Didn't Steve mention that?
But yeah, it's MMA is mixed. It's mixed martial arts brand, so we can go into anything within that. You know,
Combat
yeah. So jiu-jitsu, the gis.
Yeah.
We still need to do gis and belts and all of that stuff.
No.
There's taekwondo.
I've given up
and
asking you about the
boxing,
jiu-jitsu.
wrestling. Yeah, I know. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
will.
That'll be. We've got 4 new colorways coming out now, a new design and 4 new colors. We're about to finish
We've got
sampling it. and-
two new designs. Well, you've made 2 new.
Oh yeah, but we're bringing out one
develop
design, but 4 colorways in that design, and then we have another one lined
4
up.
different colours for it.
Yeah, for one
What's
design.
the 4 colours?
So we've got black, white, we're doing salmon pink and a baby blue.
Oh, nice.
So we're bringing.
I see that salmon like pinks.
Yeah.
Well, I got some T-shirts in, like, and they're just like sold straight away.
Yeah, we know
like,
we've got
it's
some,
going-
some cool design because we have a proper designer doing our stuff. So,
Yeah.
I heard they've got 50% off black belts.
Black belts?
Yeah,
Oh, that's pretty good. Do you want
store-wide.
to talk about that?
How did you know about that?
Yeah, and I actually need some new gloves, so I'm gonna put that black belt 50% off there. I'm putting that in when I
We'll
get
get
home.
you sorted out, James.
Nice. Yeah, he's doing a bit of MMA now, aren't you? In the cage teaching and stuff.
That's good.
Hey, old not.
punching people.
How you going?
Oh, when I get flustered, I
He
just
just
say,
chooses
get
the
a hold
people.
of me.
Just take them down.
Well, as soon as I've got,
turns
yeah, I
into
just make sure
jiu-jitsu.
it's all people I can beat.
He goes, how much experience you got? 3 weeks? Okay, you
Yeah,
can
you're
do it.
in. 4 weeks? No.
Camera up on the tripod.
I saw you talking about it on one of your other ones where, you know, the big gloves and you're trying to grapple with
Yeah,
the big gloves.
Yes.
And we're about to bring our 4 ounces out. So
Right.
we're going to
Right.
bring some Vex Original Series 4
Yeah.
ounce gloves out. So because I know a lot of the lads like to wear that when they're training.
It's like what it is. I find with the actual training wise. Obviously, you want the more padded ones because you're not hitting full power in those ones
for
anyway.
sparring,
But you
isn't
want to like hit them a little bit,
Yeah.
and you want to like feel it. But then you're trying to grapple and you can't get your hand through. So the pro guys want to like use the 4 ounce, but most of the 4 ounce are like cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're using them, but you're cutting your own knuckles, but you're also cutting the other.
Yeah.
They're not the best. So
You need to like figure out something to.
yes.
What's
yeah.
your thoughts on head guards at the moment?
For what, like
Like
boxing?
just sparring and stuff.
I don't have anyone
Yeah.
wearing
Yeah.
headgear.
And that's
so.
because
Because we were
we've
gonna-
just been discussing bringing out a head guard and whether it's even like worth
For
it
MMA,
right
I
now.
mean, I can't see how.
We've never
No.
even.
And I
just-
also
you
remember
never
when
wore
I
it.
trained,
Yeah.
you
Never wore
just have head guards in, you chuck one on for a bit of sparring, but
Yeah.
I would never buy my own really.
No, I mean, you've got like different things. When to me, like with the headgear, it's making your head a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
You're getting hit a
You
little
get
bit
hit
more.
more, don't you?
You know,
Yeah.
you're still getting the impact of it.
Cool.
But to then put it into MMA, it pops off. I mean, if
Yeah.
you try, remember, look at the amateurs when they used to wear like headgear.
Yeah.
And then the head pops off again. And if a trend, it's like, oh, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if there's a way to get around that, cool.
It's like
but-
that Onyx brand, they make like a real slim line.
Oh, really?
head guard.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen that where it's like it comes on your cheekbones, but it's like real tight to your head, like a rugby.
I think it's good, like if
Head
people
guard.
like are worried about it or they've got injuries,
Yeah.
like they've got it on and they've got a cut or they've got something else, and like you want to protect yourself,
Yeah.
and you need something to wear because I still want to like get my rounds in and not go too hard. So that would be.
Yeah, a lot of the thought behind it in the past was that it's protecting you from like head damage or like
It's still getting the
brain
impact.
brain
Yeah,
damage.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the whole
It's
thought,
not,
wasn't
is
it?
it?
Yeah.
But it's actually not. It's actually
Yeah.
getting you hit more because your targets.
So
Yeah,
I
I've
came from like a Muay Thai background where we never wore headgear. That's why I can't remember where my car is, but I'm joking. But never wore headgear. But then you'd have to put it on for certain things, and then I'm getting hit more.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I getting hit more? Because it's like why the
not
why
slipping
the
enough,
head.
Steve.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is.
You're getting
But I
slower.
much prefer like I hate it. I hate wearing them, but.
No, I agree.
You know what it's
I
like? You
agree.
ever wore like a hard hat on side or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
and then you like duck
Just
under something,
banging
you're
your
like,
head.
"Fuck," and you're like,
That's so
"Fuck,"
true,
right,
mate,
and
yeah.
it hurts.
That scuffy
Because you're
pole.
not- It's the same like you were saying about the gloves. Like when Kev was preparing for what ended up being the Harry Webb fight, it
yeah.
wasn't meant to be. But I trained every single Wednesday with him in the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we'd only just started that from Ross Pearson coming in. And so the first 1 or 2 I wore like the sparring MMA gloves. And then I was like, my job here is to like try
Grapple.
and out grapple Kev, right? And I was like, we're against the wall even. I can't get my hand through. I can't get my hand out.
Yeah.
So straight away, then I saw Kev was wearing fours.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'm gonna put my fucking fours on.
Yeah.
And then I like put my fours on, and then I'm like, sweet, now I can grapple properly. Now this is real. He's going to go in. What ended up being the Harry Webb fight as well, you know? So you can't, we need to, and then when I'm hitting him, I'm just whipping, and then and vice versa with him, he's hitting me, but we're controlled enough that we can like hit lighter, and then we're getting the more realistic grappling in.
I think if someone could come up with something which actually protects your knuckles on the inside, because most of the forearms, you're not really going to wear wraps underneath, not the big wraps, and you're not going to wrap your hands properly every time you train unless you're like, whatever. But then like, so they're not wearing wraps underneath, they've got this small one, and your knuckles start getting cut up, like really bad. So when I went to one championship, I had Courtney fighting, and she was like hitting, she goes, I want to hit with the forearm, she goes, I want to get you, okay, but just watch it. She did it, she messed up her knuckles the first session. Every day was bleeding and stuff like that. No, but I'm saying, if someone come with a forearms glove where it protects your knuckles more, and the inside, so it's softer, something that's inside, so when you're hitting, it's not so abrasive because it's not any padding really, so you're just getting the knuckles cut up all the time.
It's almost like them little gloves that people wear as well, with like the padding on.
Yeah, no, I understand, but it's fitting underneath. But could you have something like that inside a glove? And again, if you start using that, 10%.
I thought you were going to ask for 15 on that one.
All right,
He's adding them up. He's at 30%.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But
just shooting out.
That's that line though. It's like when I do because I spar once a week in here on a Twitch stream for one of the boys that's a Twitch gamer. So we spar in the cage. But when I'm in the cage here with those guys, I wear the sparring MMA gloves. Even though I'd love to wear my smaller gloves so I can out grapple. But because now when I'm shark tanking with Kev, we're not focusing on hitting each other that much unless it's in a grappling position. We can really control it. But when you're standing, now you're throwing at each other. You can't be wearing the fours. You need to wear the fatter, and then you got to deal with the grappling. So you always like it's like a pros and cons, isn't it?
What do you do? Grapple, spar with a Twitch streamer. You just set it up and then
I've seen you.
One of us films and then and we
the guy does it for a living, and then they get different people in it, and then they do like different.
He's a gamer. He's actually a gamer. Matt Jones, Mylan Games. Shout out Mylan Games. 10%. 10% Matt Mylan Games on Twitch and YouTube. So he's a gamer, and then I think his first one he did was with Steve. Like he was like, it was like a fundraiser thing for his followers. So he did with Steve like a PT, and then
when he was doing me, it was just basically just people abusing him online. So they're literally like going, "You fucking this," and I was just like reading them like, "What the hell?"
They have a live chat. So they just want him to get bashed, and then it was like a while later after that, I think, and then he asked me because obviously Steve's like way busier now, so. I was like, so I did it, and then all of a sudden it was meant to be one off, and now it's like been a year and a half of like every week, and then it went from like jiu-jitsu to now basically we just spar for an hour in the cage once a week, and the chat just wants blood, so it's like it's just sparring, and then
again James is like, you done it what, 6 months? Oh, sorry, keep going. You haven't done it before? All right.
But how the guy
try a week.
To be honest, there's a guy doing the train altar, so that's like 20 weeks, and then at the end you fight in the cage, and he's in the altar class, and the other morning we're about to do the Twitch stream, and I say to Ben, I'm like, oh mate, do you want to jump in on the Twitch stream, do some sparring in the cage and that? And he's like, yeah, he's only little as well. And he's like, yeah, I'll come in. And he just gets like absolutely smashed. But he's mates with Harvey. So Harvey's sending me photos of him just getting like bashed. And he's like, you're a bad man. And I didn't know he'd never sparred before. And I like caught him in the
beating him up.
I didn't know he'd never
like
sparred.
Sean Strickland with that.
He enjoyed it. Like we're being nice. Like we're not smashing. But I didn't know he'd never sparred before. Like I knew he was just learning, but I didn't like realize it.
You were feeling good that day.
He's about this big guy, spinning him around.
Yeah,
like,
I'm feeling good.
yeah, so but yeah, we
funny.
just do like 3-minute rounds. Sometimes people throw up. It's pretty good. Like they love it when someone runs out. I'm like, not in the cage, not in the cage. I'm not cleaning it up. Get out. Like, yeah.
How many altar boys or girls you got on?
Oh, sorry.
Altar boys.
Altar.
Yeah, so the altar program, we had like 31 signed up. We had in and then there's also they're doing it at Ramel's.
Yeah.
And
Are
then
they going to fight on domination again?
No, it's going to be separate. So they got him at Ramel's, they got it at Monsters, which is down south, and then also Dunsborough base MMA or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So there's all different ones, different amount of people. I think we got the most, but like the other morning we had like 8 people do it.
Yeah,
so it depends on the day and
they do drop off as well.
Yeah.
I think
And
people.
what
Not
time
everyone
do they
makes it
start?
to the
Is it
final.
early?
6 a.m.
6 a.m., yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So at the end, you promise like you're going to try your very best to get you a match. And last time, the one we did, we had maybe like 13 people, and they had to match within the.
I remember we were at the show.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
and
this
the
heat.
fights were wicked though,
Yeah,
weren't they?
yeah,
They're just
yeah,
like going for
yeah.
it, and they were fighting between themselves. And also, I got people from the gym who thought they're about the same level. That would be great. So now we're maybe like 11, 12 weeks in. Is it? Something like that.
This is
been
the
going a
12th.
while.
So 12th
where
week.
are you doing this one then?
So this is going to be in Jazz is running it.
Okay.
And it's going to
Yeah,
be
I remember speaking
in
to Jazz,
July.
actually, yeah.
In July.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's either going to be the 20th or 27th. And they're waiting for other dates of other promotions to see when to put it on.
Yeah.
Because we're setting up a shop for the altar day as well. Jess
Oh,
said.
really?
Yeah, she said we can do both
I didn't
days.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
10%. That's 40%.
I'm thinking Ryan runs this business.
Yeah, I'll do that one on my own.
He
and
just
not tell
turns
them.
up, yeah. So yeah,
in that group.
so that's going to be, because we've got like 4 gyms now, it's just going to be all altar.
Yeah.
So as opposed to put on
Yeah.
domination, it'd be too many,
so
because
big.
domination's
So
getting so
much.
busy now
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
But that
So
was
now-
that last one was like insane.
It was, yeah.
We were just like you run out the back, get the next person, run out the front.
Because we had
Do they
all
only
our
train
guys for
3 days?
for that, then plus the guys fighting domination. So we're just like going
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom.
Do they only train 3 days?
Yeah.
Or do
3 days a
some of them
week,
come
and
in
then I
extra?
said come into the gym if you want to do extra sessions and stuff
Well,
like that.
what they did originally have was 5 days, like back in the day.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
too much. It's
Too
too
much.
much. Like,
Dropping off, yeah.
It's too
If
much.
I was fighting though, I'd want to be in 5 days.
Yeah, well, again, they
I mean?
got the option to come in and just use the
Do
gym and
more.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. And then once we finish, then get them in to the gym like full time. And then
Yeah.
because it finished in June, I think, and then the fight's in July, so I'll give you a good
You had
smash.
some lads stay on as well after.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
So
and the
it's
guys
good.
come back
It's
as
good
well,
to do,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a good thing for the gym. And
Definitely.
it's really cool. It was actually really fun last time, wasn't it? Just to see the guys get there, like. Some of them it's a
Some of them fought
bucket list
each
thing,
other,
and some of them
didn't
are
they?
like, I want to do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
some of them
Yeah, they
fought each
fought
other
each
in
Yeah,
the gym, didn't they?
There was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much all
Was it-
for each other,
yeah,
except
yeah.
for the ones that couldn't get matched and had to bring other guys in.
Yeah.
So that's when Aaron had his first match against one of the lads and stuff.
He's
and
doing well.
Aaron's
Yeah,
good.
Aaron's
yeah,
doing,
he's doing good. Yeah,
looks sharp.
I'm trying to get him on a Eternal. I've actually got a massive list of amateurs to get on Eternal, but
Yeah.
Robin's not getting back to me. Robin on it. I need some matches. Yeah, I need some matches. I've only got Frankie's locked in, but
nice.
that should be pretty good. A lot of fights coming up and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll round it up. Is anyone else you want to talk about or thank or anything? Obviously, talk about PRP.
Yeah, no, like, I guess just all the guys we've worked with, you know,
Yeah.
everyone's been great and just it's just progressing really nicely. We're
Yeah.
gonna keep doing what we're doing and working with people, trying
Yeah.
to build good relationships and
Yeah.
like I said, thank you. The PRP guys have been great and we're ready to take it to the next level.
And if you ever get if you do get UFC and you become no, I'm just saying.
Are you looking for
No, I'm just saying. If you get the UFC and you're obviously going to be able to give them the gloves and everything else, then just throw a few free tickets, free tickets this way, and then that'll be nice. That'll be good.
Beautiful.
Cool. All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Us.